Hey there, Latin 3. This is 60 Big A. It's another Ciceronian letter. He wrote a lot of letters and kept copies of most of them. And this one he's writing to his family because the Civil War is really kicking up. Caesar has stormed into Italy, and Cicero is trying to decide what to tell his wife and daughters and his mom about staying in Rome. There was a lot of danger, actually, for them. So the aristocracy left with Pompey. Cicero went with them. And because he's with them, and he's very, very rich. He's a senator, after all. Unlike today, whereas, senators are very, very rich. But he has, what do you call it? He has a lot of concerns because Mark Antony is with Caesar, because Caesar could turn the city over to his men for plunder. And Cicero had to leave behind his family, and he's kind of gambling there. It's possible that the families of the aristocracy will be left alone, but it's also possible that because all the families who are left behind are the women, that they face all kinds of, even worse indignities than Cicero is subject to. So rape, murder, torture, that kind of thing. So it's a bit of a gamble, and so he's giving advice to his wife and his daughter and his mother, and maybe his sister. I don't remember, but he's giving them all advice as to what to do about Caesar coming. And there's a lot of subtext to this, partly because it's Cicero, but also partly because letters could be intercepted. So you don't want to. I mean, and it's a very Roman thing to talk about things without actually mentioning them, right? They would not talk about Romeo and Juliet. They would talk about that play with those two stupid kids who fell in love. Everybody would know what you're talking about. It's very mafia movie-esque. So in A, you might find that there are certain words that are very weighted and could absolutely be taken one way or the other, and he absolutely meant them that way. So here we go. 60 Big A. Tullius, that's his name, sends the warmest greetings to Terentia, his wife, to little Tullia, his daughter, to his two little darlings, and to his best mother and sweetest sister. Okay, so those are all datives. If you are well, so am I. It is now of concern to you, and not only to me, as to what you must do. If that man, and notice that he is using ile separates him, okay? Ile is also, we all know who we're talking about, but also he doesn't specifically name Caesar, so any letter that gets captured, he didn't say anything bad about Caesar. If that man is going to come to Rome in a civilized manner, well, it is all right for you to stay home for the present. But if he is going to hand over the city to be plundered as a madman, I am afraid that even Dolabella himself cannot help us. Dolabella was a friend of Cicero and Cicero's family, and he was a Caesar supporter. Furthermore, I also fear this, that at any moment we may be cut off, that you cannot leave Rome when you wish. There remains a matter which you would do very well to consider. The question, in parentheses, this is the matter, whether or not there are women like you left in Rome. So there's your first or your second real dog whistle there, okay? If there are not women like you left in Rome, that is, rich women, get out. If there are, you're probably going to be okay. For if there are not, you must consider whether or not you can be there with respectability. Now, respectability could also be honor. Honor can also be a reference to a woman's chastity absent her husband. So I think very much so he is civilizing a little bit so that it can get past censors, but I think he is civilizing the idea that they might get raped. Indeed, as things stand now, provided that we are allowed to hold on to our estates, you will be very comfortable, very able to be very comfortable, either with me or on one of our estates. So if you have to leave, you could either come to me or probably one of our estates up north. Also, It is to be feared that there may be a famine in the city in a short time. And that's also true. Rome gave free grain to everybody every day, free bread. That was a normal thing, which also meant that society was about one missed meal away from a riot. So now all of those systems have kind of broken down. Yes, so there may be a famine in the city in a short time. I would like you to make plans about these matters with Pomponius, Camillus, and whomever else it seems like a good idea to you. And in short, I would like you to be stout-hearted. So here he's, stiff upper lip, old gal. Here we go. We've been through worse. He is encouraging her, but also I think that's a way of telling her that this is some serious stuff. And he's naming specific people who are all supporters of Caesar, by the way, which means that if somebody were to read this, they would be like, oh, okay, well, these guys probably have these women under their protection. So there's multiple layers that Cicero is stacking up here. Write to me as often as you can, my dearest darlings, and let me know how you are doing and how it is going over there, like in Rome. Farewell. He's a really good writer, and his wife and daughter would have learned how to read really well too, and they would know the subtext of what he's saying. And they wouldn't even have to mention it for it to be really scary to them. Anyway, that was 60 big A. I'm probably going to do big B, big C, and big D all in one because it's a nice little pitter-patter. Make sure you answer the questions. Take a look at the fear clauses in here because it helps reinforce what we've already done with the fear clause exercises. All right, I'm going to hit the button.